I have a problem. I might be a little bit of a car masochist. I have notoriously unreliable vehicles, like this, and this. I don't know why I'm like this. But what if there was an easier, softer way to live? What if there was a way to, say, travel with all the style and charm of old British cars that I like, but with some of the reliability of a far more modern car and powered by a German engine?
But there's no way that actually exists. Or does it?
This is the 2026 Ineos Grenadier, and this car might just be the one to end my vehicular masochism.
So I'm looking at my beloved / hated 2004 Land Rover Discovery. It does have pretty much the same vibe. It's got a lot of the same features. Design consisting of pretty much only right angles, all terrains, steel bumper, differential locker, except this Ineos has more.
My Land Rover has a lot of really awesome features, but I have to get honest, I can't keep living like this. This thing is not reliable. That's why today, we're taking this Land Rover dupe on a 1,000-mile road trip to see if I can end my toxic relationship with cars. Let's assemble the troops.
This thing is so sick.
All right, let's hit the road then.
Let's go to Big Sur.
I'm not sold on the genetically modified mutant Super Land Rover just yet, but I will admit there are some positives. It was better on gas, way faster than my Land Rover.
You want to race?
Can I just say that I took your ass straight to fucking Gapplebee's?
I got a lot of shit in here, man.
Although it was missing any form of analog gauges in lieu of this ugly black rectangle and massive iPad setup, the ride was smooth and quiet, and most importantly, I was traveling without any fear that I was going to break down somewhere outside of my AAA tow range. At the end of the day, this thing costs 60 grand more and is 20 years younger than my old truck. Plus, reflecting on all the times my truck broke down on road trips, it did make for pretty good stories. But as I'm reflecting on all this, watching Desmond try to make it over this small mound of dirt, it had me wondering, what was the story behind this car, and why did they even make it in the first place? Normally, a go-to reason that I hate modern cars is that they lack any sort of story. Back in the day, you would hear about things like Lamborghini, formerly a tractor company, making fast cars out of spite because Enzo Ferrari was rude to him. Or Jeeps, which were originally designed and produced in 49 days because they needed them for World War II. Now all you have are cars that are made to maximize shareholder value, painted in gray, white, or black. They do everything for you so you can focus all your energy on looking at Instagram Reels while you're driving. So with all that in mind, the story of how this car came to exist is actually a pretty dramatic one. This car would have never came to exist if it weren't for Land Rover discontinuing the legendary Defender, a car that was the UK's crown gem go-anywhere car for decades, made famous from its use in rallies, African safaris, hauling posh British folks around their countryside estates, and everything in between. So when Brit billionaire Jim Ratcliffe got word that they were dropping this iconic truck, he nearly spat out his tea in rage and headed straight to the nearest pub to knock back a few pints and create a plan to resurrect it. Once he was done drawing this plan up on his bar napkin, he brought it straight to Land Rover, who promptly told him to fuck off. Feeling dejected, he quickly dried his tears on 100-euro notes and started a revenge mission, assembling the European car Avengers and telling them, let's build it ourselves. And what was he going to call this new mutant super defender? The Grenadier, named after the pub he drew it up in. Let's just say when Land Rover saw the Grenadier for the first time, they were not hyped. They then printed out the pictures and brought them to the UK courts, who decided they both just looked like rectangles, which is really not ownable enough to win a lawsuit. And the Ineos Grenadier was officially born. This story was the type of aspirational pettiness you don't hear enough about in modern car production.
I'll say it, it's not bad.
And while this did make me appreciate the car more, its first real test was going to be had this evening.
Where the boys are separated from the men, we're gonna see tonight when we try to sleep in this thing. No modification, no preparation at all. We don't even know what the bed setup's gonna be. I didn't even bring tools.
Honestly, so far, it's looking like it might work. It's got this factory pull-out drawer, which will make it totally flat when the seats are folded over. The only part that I'm worried about is that it won't be long enough for two adults over 6 feet tall like Jesse and I. So after towing Desmond up the hill, it was time to set up. Okay, looking at it, it is looking a little short. But we'll see how it looks with this. Could be worse, honestly.
Yeah, it's better.
This is what the setup looks like. Looks pretty cozy, honestly, but we will see.
Good morning, world.
I just completed night one in the Ineos Grenadier Trailmaster, and I gotta say, unfortunately, it was super comfy. The only thing holding it back was that the bottom part of the seat flips up, which causes the camping mattress to slope up, which isn't the end of the world. I still slept very comfortably. I could have very easily just removed the 4 bolts that hold on those bottom part of the seat, but I didn't, and it still worked.
So that got me thinking. If this new car is actually fun and cool, and I've just been hating indiscriminately on all new cars because I identify more with older and more prone to break stuff, maybe there's something bigger at play here. Maybe the real issue sits between the steering wheel and the driver's seat. Maybe tying my identity to old, broken things that require constant attention is less of a statement about my automotive taste and more of a commentary on how I view myself. Because I've always told myself the reason I love old cars is because they have character. But I think there's more to unpack here. They certainly do not make them like they used to, but it's possible that's a good thing that they don't. Or maybe none of this even matters at all. I'm feeling more and more positive by the moment that the stats are the most insignificant of all. As a matter of fact, how much horsepower is there in an awesome time spent with friends under a waterfall? How many pound-feet of torque is there in a good laugh with loved ones around a campfire? How many miles per gallon are in a sunset drive with the windows down and your hair blowing in the wind? Does it even matter what car you take at all? Does any of this even matter? At the end of the day, a car is just a tool. And if the point was never about the machine, if the point was always about the people, places, and stories, the freedom, the dumb detours, the things that happen when the plan falls apart, then maybe I've been worshipping the hammer instead of appreciating what I'm building with it.
Fuck!
Or maybe I'm just overthinking this because the new car didn't break down once and I'm questioning a lot of my previous decisions until this point.
All right, okay. Maybe these new cars are okay after all. Maybe. I don't know. Jury's still out.
So after a second reasonably comfortable night's sleep in the Ineos, it was time to head home. But before that, there was still one more bit of soul searching to be had.
So why do you like old cars so much?
I think we live in a time where everything is trying to do everything for you. We have watches that will tell you, you can answer a call and download songs, and it'll tell you news headlines. It will tell you everything, and it will try to prevent you from thinking as much as possible. I feel like an old car it just does car. You know,
Yeah.
It's simply just a tool. Like, you wouldn't want a screwdriver that tells you the temperature outside. You want a screwdriver that just screws things in.
Yeah. It has a specific function.
And there's none of the stuff you don't need. All this new stuff tend to be so overcomplicated.
It seems like a lot of the new cars are trying to remove the driver
Right.
to a certain extent. You know, it's
I agree.
instead of you controlling the vehicle and it being a tool that you use, it's turning into kind of like the computer chariot that can take you anywhere you need to go with minimal inputs from the driver.
I agree.
So with that, it was time to hit the road. I can say that although my outlook for the future of humanity is still pretty bleak, this car does offer a tiny bit of hope. We as a human population, more and more every day, are replacing our normal brain functionality with as much automation and AI-generated things as we can. And refreshingly, this car feels like it's designed to be used by a human as opposed to some version of the other way around.
Well, the trip has officially come to an end, and I don't know if this is the perfect replacement to driving old cars. But as far as new cars go, this thing is excellent. It has all the features that you need it to have. Is it gonna have all the charm? No, of course not. Is it gonna smell like an old car? No. Are you gonna have that same connection with the road? Probably not. But are these things reasonable trade-offs to make for a car that you can just get in, starts every time, take it on a big road trip, go off-roading, make it back, and never have turned a wrench the whole time? Honestly, probably. And look, I would gladly trade my old Land Rover for this new fake Land Rover any day. But the issue is these things are not cheap, and rightfully so. But hey, maybe that's a small price to pay to end a toxic relationship you have for pretty much your whole life with cars. Much to think about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Go check out my website at maxforcracks.com, and I'll see you on the next video.